and we'll keep drifting, floating together through the science of health, looping softly, endlessly through the night. Tonight we'll drift through the microscopic blueprints of your existence, the 5 defense systems that protect your life, and the kitchen pharmacy that heals you from within. There's nothing you need to do now. Just let your body sink. Heavier, heavier. Feel the mattress holding you, every muscle softening, your heartbeat slowing. Thump, thump, matching the rhythm of regeneration itself. Shoulders melting down, jaw releasing, each breath pulling you deeper, deeper into the calm, the quiet, the dark. If this health learning video helps you rest, tap subscribe, comment, and hit like, so others can find this calm too, but only if your eyes are still open. Otherwise, just drift. Now, let's drift into the DNA inside you, right now. As darkness wraps around you like velvet, 3 billion letters are being read, copied, corrected. Your DNA repair mechanisms are waking up. Molecular architects with tiny tools, scanning every chromosome, every gene, searching for damage, finding breaks in the double helix and stitching them back together, thread by golden thread. This happens thousands of times, every single night, while you sleep, while you let go, while your conscious mind floats away into dreams. The machinery is elegant, precise, ancient. Base excision repair, nucleotide excision repair, mismatch repair, homologous recombination. Each system like a specialized craftsman, knowing exactly which tool to use, exactly how to remove the damaged section and replace it with pristine code. Your cells have been doing this for billions of years, refined through deep time, perfected through survival, and tonight, as your breathing slows, as your eyelids grow heavy as stones, this repair accelerates, amplifies, reaches its peak efficiency in the darkness. But the repair mechanisms need fuel. They need signals. They need the right molecular keys to unlock their full potential. And this is where the kitchen becomes a pharmacy, where food becomes information, speaking directly to your genes, turning switches on and off in precise patterns. Let your mind drift now through a garden, dark soil, morning dew, where cruciferous vegetables push up through the earth. Broccoli, with its fractal crowns of green, kale with leaves like dark emerald fans, bok choy, its white stems glowing in moonlight, and the tiny powerhouses called broccoli sprouts, so small, yet so mighty. Inside these vegetables, nested in their cellular architecture, lives a compound called sulforaphane. Say it slowly in your mind. Sulforaphane, like a spell, a chemical incantation. When you eat these plants, when you chew them slowly, savoring, an enzyme called myrosinase awakens and transforms glucoraphanin into sulforaphane. And this molecule, this beautiful molecular key, travels through your bloodstream, crosses into your cells, and activates something ancient, something powerful, the NRF2 pathway. Imagine NRF2 as a master switch, normally held captive in the cellular fluid, bound by a protein called KEAP1, but when sulforaphane arrives, it releases NRF2, sets it free, and NRF2 floats into the nucleus, that sacred inner chamber, and binds to the DNA, flipping on hundreds of protective genes at once, like turning on lights in a darkened house, room after room illuminating. These genes produce phase 2 detoxification enzymes, your body's cleanup crew, glutathione S-transferase, NADPG quinone oxidoreductase. Each name a prayer, each enzyme a guardian, neutralizing toxins, escorting them gently out of your cells, keeping your inner environment pristine, crystal clear as your breath deepens and your thoughts begin to dissolve like sugar in warm water. The antioxidant defense system awakens, superoxide dismutase, catalase, glutathione peroxidase, fighting oxidative stress, those free radicals, those chaotic molecules with unpaired electrons, spinning, searching, damaging, but your antioxidants catch them, neutralize them, transform chaos into calm, just as sleep transforms the noise of the day into the silence of night. Feel that silence now, settling over you like snow, soft, complete, total. Now drift deeper into the red, the purple, the blue of berries, blueberries, small as promises, bursting with compounds called anthocyanins. These pigments, responsible for that deep twilight colour, are also keys, unlocking cellular repair, protecting your DNA from damage. When scientists exposed cells to DNA-damaging compounds, then added blueberry extract, the DNA breakage decreased dramatically. The anthocyanins wrapped around the DNA like a shield, like loving arms, protecting, preserving, and they do more. They cross the blood-brain barrier, those tiny molecules swimming into your brain, enhancing communication between neurons, improving memory, cognition, as if your thoughts become clearer, sharper, even as you drift towards sleep. Blackberries, raspberries, with their compound architecture, multiple tiny spheres fused together, each containing ellagic acid, another protector, another guardian of your genetic code. Ellagic acid inhibits the binding of carcinogens to DNA, blocks the initial mutation, prevents the first wrong step, and then there are cranberries, tart, bright, containing proanthocyanidins that protect the urinary tract, preventing bacteria from adhering to cell walls, and cherries, dark as midnight, packed with anthocyanins and melatonin. Yes, the sleep hormone itself, nature putting it directly into the fruit, as if the cherry knows you need to rest, need to repair, need to regenerate. Feel yourself sinking now as we drift to the Mediterranean, to ancient olive groves on hillsides, where trees with gnarled silver trunks produce extra virgin olive oil, that golden green liquid containing a compound called oleocanthal, which acts like ibuprofen in your body, reducing inflammation, that silent fire burning in tissues, aging you, damaging you. But the olive oil cools it, soothes it. And then there's allopurin and hydroxytyrosol, polyphenols that protect your DNA, enhance autophagy, that cellular recycling program, where your cells break down damaged proteins, old mitochondria, cellular debris, and rebuild fresh components, like cleaning house while you sleep, throwing out the old, making space for the new. Your body does this best when you fast, when you rest, when you let go completely, as you're doing now, breathing slowly in and out, in and out. Tomatoes, bright red, almost glowing, hanging heavy on the vine, contain lycopene, that carotenoid pigment, powerful, persistent. Lycopene protects against DNA damage from ultraviolet light, from oxidative stress. It concentrates in the prostate, in the reproductive glands, in the adrenal glands, protecting these vulnerable tissues. And here's the beauty, the poetry. Lycopene becomes more bioavailable when tomatoes are cooked, when heat breaks down the cell walls, releases the compound, especially when combined with olive oil, the fat carrying it into your bloodstream. This is why a simple tomato sauce, simmered slowly, becomes medicine, becomes protection, becomes longevity in a bowl. Your eyelids are so heavy now, like velvet curtains, and behind them, inside the theatre of your skull, angiogenesis is happening, the growth of new blood vessels. Your body is laced with 60,000 miles of blood vessels, capillaries so tiny that red blood cells must squeeze through single file. And yet, this vast network needs constant maintenance, constant renewal. Endothelial cells, lining every vessel, divide, migrate, form new branches, new connections, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every cell, removing waste. This process must be perfectly balanced. Too much angiogenesis and tumors can feed themselves. Too little and tissues starve. Wounds won't heal, organs deteriorate. Certain foods are anti-angiogenic. They prevent the excessive blood vessel growth that feeds tumors. Green tea, with its catechin called EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. Say it slowly, feeling the syllables. EGCG inhibits VEGF, vascular endothelial growth factor, that signal tumors use to demand more blood supply. The green tea quietly, gently, turns down that signal while allowing normal angiogenesis to continue. So your healthy tissues get what they need, but abnormal growths are starved, contained, controlled. Soy contains genistein, another anti-angiogenic compound, as do blueberries, as does dark chocolate. Yes, cacao, containing flavonoids that reduce blood vessel formation in tumors while protecting your heart. But then, for wound healing, for your heart muscle after injury, you need proangiogenic factors, and certain foods provide these too, like bone broth, rich in glycine and proline, building blocks for new vessels, or pomegranates, those ancient fruits, seeds like rubies in white pith, containing punicalagin, a molecule that stimulates endothelial progenitor cells, those stem cells that can become new blood vessel lining. The pomegranate tells your body, here, regenerate, rebuild, restore, and ellagic acid, present in those jewel-like seeds, protects telomeres, those protective caps on your chromosomes, preventing them from fraying, keeping your cells young, capable, alive. Your stem cells are stirring now, deep in your bone marrow, in your adipose tissue, in the crypts of your intestines, mesenchymal stem cells, hematopoietic stem cells, pluripotent, capable of becoming many different cell types. These are your body's reserve army, waiting, ready to repair damage, replace dying cells, regenerate tissue, and certain foods can stimulate their mobilization, their differentiation. Omega-3 fatty acids from fatty fish, salmon swimming through cold northern waters, mackerel, sardines, anchovies. These fish concentrate EPA and DHA, essential fats your body cannot make, fats that become part of every cell membrane, making them fluid, flexible, responsive. These omega-3s reduce inflammation, modulate immune function, protect neural tissue, and enhance stem cell activity. Imagine eating salmon, that pink flesh, rich with astaxanthin too, another carotenoid, pink as sunrise, protecting against oxidative damage. The fish spent its life eating krill, accumulating this protective compound, and now it protects you. A chain of protection, from phytoplankton to krill to fish to you. Ancient, evolutionary, perfect. And oysters, those filter feeders, concentrating zinc from seawater. Zinc is essential for immune function, for wound healing, for DNA synthesis, for the activity of over 300 enzymes in your body. One oyster contains more zinc than most people eat in a day, supporting your thymus, that gland above your heart where T cells mature, those soldiers of your immune system, learning to recognize self from non-self, friend from foe, and then there's squid ink, black as midnight, containing polysaccharides and peptides that modulate immunity, compounds that have been used in Asian medicine for centuries, supporting the gut microbiome, that ecosystem of trillions of microbes living inside you, your gut microbiome, weighing as much as your brain, containing more cells than your entire body, more genes than your human genome, a vast invisible organ, producing vitamins, neurotransmitters, immune signals, protecting against pathogens, training your immune system, even influencing your thoughts, your mood, your cravings. Let yourself sink deeper now, imagining your gut, that long winding tube, lined with a single layer of epithelial cells, holding back the microbial tide, maintaining intestinal barrier integrity, preventing bacteria and undigested food from entering your bloodstream. The cells are held together by tight junctions, protein complexes forming a seal, and the gut lining is protected by a mucus layer, thick, viscous, and in that mucus lives a special bacterium, Akkermansia mucinifera, a beautiful creature, eating the mucus, stimulating its regeneration, keeping the barrier strong. People with healthy metabolism, with lower inflammation, with better glucose control, have more Akkermansia. And pomegranates feed it, cranberries feed it, polyphenols from tea and red wine feed it, helping it thrive, helping it protect you. Then there's Lactobacillus reuteri, another probiotic, a bacterium that produces antimicrobial compounds that modulates immune function, that can even improve skin health, thicken hair, increase bone density, through mechanisms scientists are only beginning to understand. The gut-brain axis, the gut-skin axis, the gut-everything axis, all connected, all communicating through chemical signals through the vagus nerve, that wandering nerve running from brainstem to colon, carrying information both ways, and bifidobacterium species, present in high numbers in healthy infants, declining with age. These bacteria ferment fiber, produce short-chain fatty acids, butyrate, propionate, acetate, butyrate. Say it softly, butyrate. This is the preferred fuel for your colonocytes. Those cells lining your colon, they consume it, thrive on it, and butyrate does something remarkable. It inhibits histone deacetylases, HDAC inhibitors, changing how tightly DNA is wrapped around histone proteins, loosening it in some places, allowing genes to be expressed. This is epigenetic signaling, changing not the DNA sequence itself, but which genes are turned on, which are silenced. Butyrate turns on genes for intestinal barrier function, for anti-inflammation, for tumor suppression, all from fiber fermentation, all from feeding your microbes the complex carbohydrates they need. And where do you get these fibers, these prebiotics? From legumes, lentils, tiny lens-shaped seeds, chickpeas, round and beige, black beans, navy beans, adzuki beans. Each contains resistant starch, inulin, oligosaccharides, passing through your small intestine undigested, arriving in your colon, and there, the feast begins. Your bacteria bloom, multiply, produce those short-chain fatty acids, that butyrate, that changes your gene expression, that heals your gut, that calms your inflammation, that protects your DNA from whole grains too, barley with its chewy texture, oats becoming creamy when cooked, releasing beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that feeds beneficial bacteria, that lowers cholesterol, that modulates immune function. Quinoa, that ancient grain from the Andes, actually a seed, containing all 9 essential amino acids, complete protein from a plant. And buckwheat, despite its name, not wheat at all, but related to rhubarb, containing rutin, a flavonoid that strengthens blood vessels, reduces inflammation, protects against diabetes. Brown rice, with its bran and germ intact, containing fiber, B vitamins, minerals, and gamma-oryzanol, a compound that may lower cholesterol, improve menopausal symptoms. The white rice has been stripped, polished, robbed of these protective layers, but the brown rice remains whole, complete, offering more, as your body deserves more, deserves to be nourished, protected, healed. Feel yourself being healed now, as you drift, as your breath slows, as the night deepens around you. Your immune system is modulating, finding balance, not too active, not too suppressed, perfectly calibrated. Mushrooms help this. Fungi, those strange organisms, neither plant nor animal, living in the shadows, breaking down dead matter, returning it to soil. Shiitake mushrooms, grown on oak logs in Japan, containing lentinan, a beta-glucan that activates macrophages, those cellular vacuum cleaners, eating bacteria, viruses, debris. Matake mushrooms, dancing mushroom, found at the base of trees, containing diffraction, stimulating natural killer cells, those lymphocytes that destroy infected cells, cancer cells, without needing prior sensitization, just recognizing and eliminating. And then compounds like quercetin, found in onions, apples, kale, a flavonoid, yellow. Quercetin stabilizes mast cells, prevents them from degranulating, releasing histamine. It's a natural antihistamine, reducing allergic responses, inflammation. It also activates sirtuins, those longevity genes, and resveratrol from grapes, especially in the skins. Concentrated in red wine, activating SIRT1, enhancing mitochondrial function, promoting autophagy. That's why the French paradox exists. High fat intake, yet low cardiovascular disease. The wine, consumed with meals, providing resveratrol, providing polyphenols, protecting, preserving. But you don't need alcohol. You can eat grapes, red grapes, purple grapes, with their skins, or drink grape juice, or eat peanuts, which also contain resveratrol, or dark chocolate, cacao, fermented, roasted, ground, containing not just flavonoids, but also theobromine, a gentle stimulant, much milder than caffeine, improving blood flow to the brain, lowering blood pressure. And the darker the chocolate, the more cacao, the more compounds, 70%, 80%, 90%, less sugar, more medicine, more protection, more longevity encoded in every square. Walnuts, shaped like tiny brains, contain omega-3 ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, and elagitannins that convert in your gut to urolithins, compounds that enhance mitophagy, the selective removal of damaged mitochondria, keeping your cellular powerhouses healthy, efficient, producing ATP, that universal energy currency, without producing excessive reactive oxygen species. Almonds, pecans, pistachios, cashews, each nut a different profile of fats, minerals, vitamins, each offering protection, offering nourishment. A handful each day, that's all, just a handful, to support your cells, your DNA, your slow, beautiful, inevitable repair. Your telomeres are being protected right now. Those repeating sequences at the ends of your chromosomes, tag, 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 like the plastic tips on shoelaces, preventing the DNA from fraying. Every time a cell divides, the telomeres shorten, like a clock counting down. But telomerase, that enzyme, can rebuild them, lengthen them. And certain lifestyle factors activate telomerase: meditation, exercise, stress reduction, and certain foods provide the cofactors, The substrates, vitamin C from kiwi fruit, those fuzzy brown ovals, bright green insides with tiny black seeds in a starburst pattern, more vitamin C than oranges, protecting DNA from oxidative damage, supporting collagen synthesis, that protein forming the scaffold of your tissues, your skin, your blood vessels, your bones. Vitamin C donates electrons, neutralizes free radicals, becomes oxidized itself, sacrificing, protecting, and then it can be regenerated, recycled by glutathione, by vitamin E, that orchestra of antioxidants, working together, supporting each other, never alone, always interconnected, like everything in your body, like everything in nature, all connected, all flowing, all breathing together as you breathe now, deeply, slowly, your chest rising, falling, rising, falling, like waves on a shore, endless, rhythmic, peaceful. Garlic, those pungent bulbs wrapped in papery white skin, contain allicin, formed when you crush the clove, when alanus enzyme meets alliin substrate, producing that sharp smell, that burning taste, and that protective power. Allicin has antimicrobial properties, fighting bacteria, fungi, even some viruses, supporting your immune system. An aged garlic extract, fermented, mellowed, contains S-allylcysteine, a compound more stable, more bioavailable, protecting the heart, lowering blood pressure, reducing arterial plaque. Onions too, their organosulfur compounds, making you cry when you cut them, volatile, reactive, protective. These vegetables from the allium family, garlic, onions, leeks, shallots, chives, have been medicine for thousands of years, used in every traditional healing system. And now science confirms what grandmothers always knew. They protect, they heal, they extend life. Peaches, plums, nectarines, apricots, stone fruits, with their single hard pit, their soft flesh, colours ranging from pale yellow to deep purple. These contain chlorogenic acid, hydroxycinnamic acids, protecting against diabetes, against cognitive decline, modulating glucose absorption, and when dried, prunes, concentrated nutrients, concentrated sugars, yes, but also concentrated sorbitol, a gentle natural laxative, and boron, a trace mineral needed for bone health, for brain function, all in that dark, wrinkled fruit, sweet, sticky, nourishing. Coffee, that morning ritual, that dark brew, contains chlorogenic acid too, antioxidants, and it activates autophagy, that cellular cleaning, improving insulin sensitivity, protecting against neurodegeneration, cup after cup, through centuries, through cultures, bringing people together and secretly protecting their cells, extending their health span as long as it doesn't disturb sleep, which means stopping by early afternoon, allowing the caffeine to clear so you can rest as you're resting now, so deeply, so completely, feeling yourself dissolving into the mattress, becoming one with the darkness, with the silence, with the night, black tea, oxidized, fermented, darker, containing the flavins, compounds formed during processing, offering different benefits than green tea, both from the same plant, Camellia sinensis, just treated differently, showing how transformation changes medicine, changes protection, and both teas, green and black, support the gut microbiome, provide polyphenols that feed beneficial bacteria, that reduce harmful bacteria, that modulate the ecosystem inside you. Turmeric, that orange-yellow rhizome, ground into powder, staining everything it touches, contains curcumin, perhaps the most studied natural compound with anti-inflammatory properties, crossing the blood-brain barrier, supporting cognitive function, inducing apoptosis in cancer cells, that programmed cell death, when a cell recognizes it's damaged and initiates its own destruction for the good of the organism. Curcumin triggers this, especially in rapidly dividing cancer cells, while leaving healthy cells alone, and it's absorbed better with black pepper, with piperine, that compound that makes pepper spicy, inhibiting curcumin metabolism in the liver, allowing more to enter bloodstream, to reach tissues, to protect, to heal. This is synergy, compounds working together, more powerful combined than alone. Spices and herbs, rosemary, that needle-like leaves, aromatic, containing rosmarinic acid, carnosic acid, protecting against neurodegeneration, improving memory. In folklore, rosemary was for remembrance, and now we know why. It protects acetylcholine, that neurotransmitter, from breakdown. Oregano, with more antioxidants per gram than any other herb, containing carvacrol, thymol, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory. Basil, sweet, with eugenol, the same compound in cloves. Thyme, tiny leaves, huge impact, another source of thymol. And saffron, those delicate red threads, stigmas from crocus flowers, so expensive, so precious, containing crocin, safranal, compounds that may help with depression, with anxiety, with mood, as if the flower wants to bring you joy, wants to lift your spirit, even as it flavors your rice, your stew, your ancient Persian dishes. Cinnamon, bark from a tree, rolled into quills, ground into powder, sweet, warming, containing cinnamaldehyde, modulating blood sugar, improving insulin sensitivity, protecting against diabetes. And ginger, that knobby rhizome, spicy, warming, containing gingerols, reducing nausea, reducing inflammation, improving digestion, both used for thousands of years in traditional Chinese medicine, in Ayurveda, in every grandmother's kitchen. And chili peppers, bright red, burning hot, containing capsaicin, that compound that binds pain receptors, creating heat, but also blocking substance P, that neuropeptide involved in pain transmission. So capsaicin, paradoxically, causes pain, then relieves it, and it boosts metabolism, increases thermogenesis, helps with weight management, while protecting gastric mucosa, healing ulcers, despite the burning sensation suggesting it would do the opposite. The paradoxes of biology, the surprises, the elegance, all unfolding inside you right now as you rest, as repair happens, as your DNA is checked, corrected, protected, as your stem cells wait in reserve, as your gut bacteria produce their protective compounds, as your immune cells patrol, vigilant, as your blood vessels maintain their delicate balance, as your telomeres are shielded, as everything works together, in concert, in harmony, automatically, without you having to think, to direct, to control. Just let go. And in that letting go, in that surrender to sleep, your body finds its deepest wisdom, its ancient programs, billions of years old, refined through survival, through adaptation, through the endless dance of evolution. You are the latest expression, the current form, and within you, the same mechanisms that kept your ancestors alive, that allowed them to survive, to reproduce, to create you. These mechanisms need nothing from you but rest, darkness, time, and the right molecular signals from food, from plants, from the earth herself, offering her pharmacy, her medicine, her protection. Feel the weight of your body, completely supported, every point of contact with the bed, pressure, warmth, safety, your heart beating steadily, your lungs filling, emptying, oxygen entering your blood, carbon dioxide leaving, that ancient exchange, that first breath, that last breath, that every breath in between, each one a gift, each one fueling the trillions of reactions happening inside you, each one bringing you closer to sleep, deeper into restoration, further into the healing darkness. Sea vegetables, seaweed, nori wrapped around rice, wakame floating in miso soup, kombu adding umami to broths. These algae, these ancient photosynthetic organisms, contain iodine, essential for thyroid function, for metabolism, for energy production. They contain fucoidan, a polysaccharide with anti-cancer properties, immune-modulating properties, antiviral properties. From the ocean, that primordial soup where life began, bringing its minerals, its compounds, its protection, and sea base, swimming in those same waters, absorbing, concentrating, becoming food, becoming medicine, scallops, clams, mussels, filter feeders, cleaning the water, concentrating nutrients, providing zinc, selenium, vitamin B12, that vitamin found almost exclusively in animal products, essential for DNA synthesis, for red blood cell formation, for neurological function. Those beautiful shells, spiraled, ridged, coloured, protecting soft flesh inside, sweet, briny, tasting of the sea, nourishing you, connecting you to vast waters, to the 70% of Earth's surface that is ocean, to the salt in your blood, that echo of ancient seas, that reminder that you're made of water, made of minerals, made of stardust, held together temporarily, breathing, living, repairing, tonight, right now, as we drift together through science, through healing, through the soft dark, fermented foods, sauerkraut, shredded cabbage, salted, left to transform as lactobacillus species consume the sugars, produce lactic acid, lowering pH, preserving, creating tang, creating probiotics, billions of beneficial bacteria in every forkful, kimchi, Korean, spicy, with gochugaru red pepper flakes, garlic, ginger, fish sauce, fermenting in clay pots, developing complex flavors, complex benefits. These foods, traditional, ancient, made without refrigeration, without understanding of microbiology, but with empirical knowledge, with observation, with trial and error, and they worked. They preserved food through winter, through journey, and they enhanced nutrition, enhanced digestion, enhanced health, as we're rediscovering now, as we measure, quantify, prove what was always known. Kefir, that tangy drink, thicker than milk, thinner than yogurt, containing dozens of bacterial strains, yeast strains, a complex community, originated in the Caucasus Mountains, those grains resembling cauliflower, made of proteins and sugars, housing the microbes, passed from generation to generation, never bought, never sold, only gifted, and probiotic yogurt, live active cultures, lactobacillus, bifidobacterium, consuming lactose, producing lactic acid, thickening milk, creating that characteristic tang. These dairy products, fermented, transformed, easier to digest, more nutritious, more protective, more than the sum of their parts. Your methylation patterns are shifting in your DNA, in your histones, methyl groups, CH3 attaching, detaching, silencing genes, activating genes. This is epigenetics. Epi meaning above, above genetics, controlling gene expression without changing the underlying sequence. And diet influences this. Folate, B12, choline, betaine, same. All involved in methyl group metabolism, all influencing which genes are expressed. Dark leafy greens provide folate, its name from foliage. Liver provides B12. Eggs provide choline. Beets provide betaine. Each food, each nutrient, subtly steering your gene expression toward health, toward protection, toward longevity, or away from it, and you choose, with every bite, with every meal, which direction, which path, which future. But tonight, there is no choosing, no effort, no striving, only rest, only receiving, only allowing your body to do what it knows how to do: repair, regenerate, restore. Your tumor suppressor genes, P53, BRCA1, BRCA2, MLH1, are being expressed, producing proteins that monitor for DNA damage, for uncontrolled cell division, for potential cancer. And when they find it, they trigger arrest, repair, or apoptosis, that programmed death, that sacrifice of the one for the many. These genes are your guardians, your protectors, and the foods you eat, the polyphenols, the isothiocyanates, the carotenoids, they support these guardians, enhance their function, give them strength. Soy isoflavones, genistein, daidzein from soybeans, tofu, tempeh, miso. These phytoestrogens, plant compounds similar in structure to estrogen, but different, milder. They bind to estrogen receptors, but without the same intensity, modulating rather than overwhelming. In high estrogen state, they block the receptor, reducing effect. In low estrogen states, they weakly activate it, compensating. This is why soy can be protective, reducing mammary cancer in Asian populations who consume it traditionally, from childhood, consistently. Not in isolated supplements, not in processed soy protein isolate, but in whole foods, fermented foods, as they've been eaten for millennia, flax seeds, tiny, brown or golden, hard shells protecting, containing lignans, plant compounds that are converted by gut bacteria into enterolactone, enterodiol. These have anti-estrogenic effects, anti-cancer effects, and alpha-linolenic acid, that omega-3 and fiber, both soluble and insoluble. But flax seeds must be ground, crushed, otherwise they pass through whole, undigested, untouched. So grind them fresh or buy them ground and store them carefully, protected from light, from heat, from oxidation, treating them with respect, with care, as they will care for you, protect you, heal you. Chia seeds, those tiny black or white seeds from Salvia hispanica, a desert plant. These seeds, when wet, form a gel, mucilage surrounding each seed. This gel slows digestion, stabilizes blood sugar, feeds gut bacteria, provides satiety, and the seeds contain omega-3s, calcium, magnesium, antioxidants, a complete package, a gift, and they require no grinding, no preparation. Just add to liquid, let sit, let bloom. And they were currency once in Aztec culture, valued as highly as gold. And perhaps they were right. Perhaps nutrition, health, longevity. These are the real wealth, the real treasure, more valuable than any metal, any jewel. Pumpkin seeds, pepitas, flat, green, rich in zinc, magnesium, essential for hundreds of enzymatic reactions, for protein synthesis, for nerve function, for muscle contraction, for heart rhythm. Most people are deficient, eating processed foods, depleted soils, and feeling the effects: fatigue, cramps, anxiety, irregular heartbeat. But a quarter cup of pumpkin seeds, that's all, provides half the daily need, simple, easy, protective. And sunflower seeds, striped shells, white kernels, rich in vitamin E, that fat-soluble antioxidant, protecting cell membranes, protecting LDL cholesterol from oxidation, preventing that first step in atherosclerosis, that plaque formation, that narrowing of arteries. And selenium, another antioxidant, another protector, working with glutathione peroxidase, that enzyme, neutralizing hydrogen peroxide, preventing oxidative damage, all from seeds, concentrated nutrition, potential life, held in dormancy, waiting, just as your own potential, your own healing, your own regeneration, waits, ready, inevitable. Let yourself feel that inevitability, that certainty that your body wants to heal, wants to be well, wants to thrive. It's programmed into every cell, every gene, every protein. Your existence is an unbroken chain going back to the first cell, the first self-replicating molecule, 4 billion years ago, in warm, shallow water or deep sea vents. Somewhere, somehow, life emerged and persisted and complexified, and eventually, through countless generations, through extinction events, through ice ages, through drought and flood and fire, your ancestors survived. Every single one of them survived long enough to reproduce, to pass on their genes, to create the next link in the chain, until finally, you, here, now, breathing, living, carrying that unbroken lineage, that incredible inheritance, forward, and your body remembers, your DNA remembers, the pathways, the mechanisms, the healing, all evolved through survival, through need, through adaptation. They're not new, not fragile, not uncertain. They're ancient, tested, proven. They work, they will work in you tonight, as you sleep, as you let go, as you trust, in the wisdom older than thought, older than consciousness, older than humanity itself. The healing cascades are beginning, cytokines signaling, growth factors releasing, stem cells mobilizing, moving through your bloodstream, homing to sites of damage, differentiating into needed cell types, collagen being deposited, vessels sprouting, neurons connecting, bone remodeling, all happening now, in darkness, in silence, in the deep privacy of your body, unseen, unfelt, but real, measurably real, scientifically verified real. And tomorrow, when you wake, you will be different, slightly, subtly, imperceptibly, but different. Cells will have divided, replaced, renewed. DNA will have been repaired, proteins synthesized, waste removed. You will be both the same person and new, a ship of Theseus, every plank replaced, yet still the same ship, still you, still continuous, still alive, still growing, still becoming. But for now, there is only this breath, this moment, this deep, dark, beautiful, restful now. Feel your consciousness dimming, like a light on a dimmer switch, slowly, smoothly, fading, the thoughts dissolving, words losing meaning, images blurring, and underneath, always underneath, the body continues, the heart beats, the lungs breathe, the cells repair, the DNA replicates, the proteins fold, the life continues, automatic, autonomous, free. Your gut is producing neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, GABA, those mood-regulating chemicals. 90% of your serotonin made in your intestines, by your gut cells, influenced by your microbiome, those bacteria, producing, modulating, affecting your mood, your thoughts, your sense of well-being, the gut-brain axis, communication flowing both ways, vagus nerve carrying signals, metabolites entering bloodstream, crossing blood-brain barrier, changing neural activity. This is why fermented foods improve mood, why fiber reduces depression, why the Western diet, low in plants, high in processed food, correlates with anxiety, with mental illness. The gut knows, the gut influences, the gut helps create your experience of reality, your inner state, your capacity for joy, for calm, for peace, as you feel now, peaceful, calm, serene, drifting. And the healing foods, they're not exotic, not expensive, not rare. They're in every grocery store, every market, every garden, humble, common, ordinary, yet containing extraordinary power, extraordinary potential. The broccoli, the blueberries, the beans, the nuts, the fish, the tea, each one a pharmacy, each one speaking to your genes, modulating your biology, steering you toward health. And the beautiful thing, the elegant thing, is that they work synergistically. Together they're more powerful than alone. The anthocyanins, the sulforaphane, the omega-3s, the resveratrol, the fiber, all working together, complementing, enhancing, synergizing, like an orchestra, each instrument contributing its unique voice, but the music, the healing, emerging from the whole, from the combination, from the pattern, from the symphony. And you don't need to understand it, don't need to remember all the names, all the mechanisms, all the pathways. Your body knows, your cells know. They have receptors for these compounds, recognition sites, evolved over millions of years of eating plants, eating fish, eating the foods that surrounded, that sustained, that protected. Your biology expects these compounds, needs them, thrives on them. And when you provide them, when you eat real food, colourful food, diverse food, your body responds gratefully, powerfully, inevitably. It heals, it strengthens, it endures, giving you more years, more vitality, more life to experience, to give, to love, to be. And this symphony plays on through the night, through your sleep, through every quiet hour. The compounds arriving, binding, signaling, changing, your cells responding, adapting, healing, without fanfare, without announcement, just doing what they were designed to do, what billions of years of evolution programmed them to do: survive, thrive, persist. And you, simply by eating, by choosing plants, by choosing colour, by choosing whole foods, you activate this ancient program. You turn the key, you open the door to longevity, to vitality, to the slow, graceful aging that humans are meant to experience, not the rapid decline, the chronic disease, the premature aging that comes from processed food, from deficiency, from chemical exposure, from stress. No, you're choosing differently, breathing differently, being differently. Your mitochondria are multiplying, those tiny powerhouses, those descendants of ancient bacteria that entered cells 2 billion years ago and stayed symbiotic, cooperative. They retain their own DNA, circular, like bacteria, separate from your nuclear DNA, and they reproduce independently, dividing, budding, creating more energy capacity, more ATP production. And certain foods support this. Certain compounds trigger mitochondrial biogenesis, PGC1 alpha activation, that master regulator, stimulated by exercise, by fasting, by cold exposure, and by polyphenols from berries, from green tea, from coffee. Your mitochondria becoming more numerous, more efficient, producing more energy with less oxidative stress, less damage, cleaner burning, like a well-tuned engine, purring, powerful, reliable. And when mitochondria become damaged, when they accumulate mutations, when they produce too many reactive oxygen species, they must be removed, recycled. This is mitophagy, selective autophagy targeting mitochondria. The cell recognizes dysfunction, tags the mitochondrion, engulfs it in an autophagosome, fuses with a lysosome and digests it, breaks it down to components, amino acids, lipids, nucleotides, to be reused. Nothing wasted, nothing lost, just transformed, recycled, renewed. This happens more during fasting, during exercise, during sleep, when energy demands decrease, when the body can afford to clean house, to reorganize, to optimize. And urolithins from pomegranates and walnuts, they enhance this. They make it more efficient, more complete, protecting your cellular energy systems, maintaining your capacity for life, for movement, for thought, for being. Autophagy itself, that word meaning self-eating, discovered by Yoshinori Osumi, who won the Nobel Prize in 2016 for revealing this ancient cellular recycling system, present in yeast, in plants, in worms, in flies, in us, universal, essential, life-preserving. During autophagy, cells break down damaged proteins, misfolded proteins, aggregated proteins, those clumps that accumulate with age, that cause neurodegeneration, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's. The autophagosome engulfs them, delivers them to lysosomes, those cellular stomachs filled with enzymes, breaking everything down into building blocks to be reused. This is why fasting extends lifespan in every organism tested, why caloric restriction works, why intermittent fasting has benefits. It triggers autophagy, cellular renewal, molecular housekeeping, and coffee, tea, olive oil, resveratrol. They activate it too, mimicking some benefits of fasting, without the hunger, without the deprivation, just gentle, persistent activation. Feel yourself sinking deeper now, deeper than before, as if the mattress itself is dissolving and as if you're floating, suspended in darkness, in warmth, in safety. Your body temperature dropping slightly, as it does during sleep, conserving energy, directing resources inward to repair, to restore. Your growth hormone levels rising as they do in deep sleep, stimulating tissue growth, muscle repair, bone density. Growth hormone declining with age, but sleep maintains it, protects it, keeps you young. And melatonin, that sleep hormone, is also an antioxidant, one of the most powerful, crossing all cellular membranes, entering mitochondria, nucleus, protecting DNA directly, scavenging free radicals, and cherries contain it, tart cherries especially, providing exogenous melatonin, helping you sleep, helping you repair, helping you heal. Your endothelial progenitor cells are circulating, those stem cells from bone marrow, capable of becoming new endothelial lining, new blood vessel walls. They're mobilized by exercise, by certain cytokines, by VEGF, vascular endothelial growth factor, that signal calling for more blood vessels, more circulation, more oxygen delivery. After a heart attack, VEGF increases, calling these stem cells to the damage, to rebuild, to revascularize, to restore blood flow. And pomegranate juice increases circulating EPCs, increases their function, their capacity to form new vessels. This is regenerative medicine, from food, from nature, accessible, affordable, simple, but it's balanced, nuanced. Because while you need angiogenesis for healing, for exercise adaptation, you need anti-angiogenesis to prevent tumor growth, to starve cancer. And the body manages both simultaneously, maintaining healthy angiogenesis where needed, suppressing it where dangerous. And diet influences this balance. Green tea's EGCG, soy's genistein. They inhibit tumor angiogenesis, while not harming healthy vessel formation. They're selective, intelligent, targeting rapid uncontrolled growth, but allowing slow controlled repair. This selectivity, this wisdom, exists in plants, in compounds, in nature, evolved over eons, tested through survival, refined through selection. Your blood vessels themselves, those 60,000 miles of tubing, are lined with a single layer of endothelial cells, so thin, so delicate, yet so crucial. They regulate blood pressure, prevent clotting, produce nitric oxide, that gas molecule that relaxes smooth muscle, dilates vessels, improves blood flow. And nitric oxide is made from L-arginine, an amino acid found in nuts, in seeds, in fish, in meat. But it also requires cofactors, vitamins, minerals. It requires optimal conditions, low oxidative stress, adequate antioxidants, and flavonoids from dark chocolate, from tea, from berries. They protect nitric oxide from degradation, extend its half-life, amplify its effects. This is why dark chocolate lowers blood pressure, improves flow-mediated dilation, protects cardiovascular health, not despite being indulgent, but because it contains medicine, contains flavanols, contains theobromine, contains protection. Breathe into that, into the permission to enjoy, to savor, to take pleasure in food, in taste, in eating, not as guilty indulgence, not as weakness, but as nourishment, as healing, as medicine that happens to taste good. The bitter dark chocolate melting on your tongue, the sweet burst of blueberries, the rich umami of miso soup, the warm spice of turmeric, the sharp bite of garlic, each flavor, each sensation telling you something, guiding you. Some tastes signal nutrients, sweetness indicating carbohydrates for energy, umami indicating protein, amino acids, fat richness signaling concentrated calories, essential fatty acids, and bitter, that taste most rejected, often signals medicine, phytonutrients, protective compounds. Plants make these to defend themselves from insect, from fungi, from UV radiation, and we co-opted them, evolved to benefit from them, to use their defenses as our own. Bitter greens, bitter tea, bitter cacao, all protective, all healing, all worth acquiring a taste for. Your taste preferences can change, adapt. If you eat real food consistently, your palate adjusts. Processed food tastes too sweet, too salty, too artificial, while simple foods reveal their subtlety, their complexity, the sweetness of a carrot, the nuttiness of brown rice, the freshness of cucumber, flavors you might have missed before, obscured by overstimulation, by excess sugar, by artificial flavoring, but they're there, waiting, subtle, real, true. Like quiet music you can only hear when everything else falls silent. Like stars you can only see when the city lights dim. Like healing you can only feel when you stop, rest, listen, as you're listening now, to your body, to your breath, to the subtle sensations, the heaviness, the warmth, the peace, settling over you like snow, polyphenols from tea, from olive oil, from wine, from berries. These compounds are not absorbed well in the small intestine. Instead, many pass through, reaching the colon, and there, your gut bacteria transform them, metabolize them into smaller compounds, into active metabolites that are absorbed, that enter circulation, that exert effects. This is why gut health matters for polyphenol benefits, why antibiotics can temporarily reduce the benefits of these foods, why fermented foods, why fiber, why feeding your microbiome is so crucial. The bacteria are intermediaries, translators, transforming plant compounds into human medicine, a cooperation, a partnership. Plants feeding bacteria feeding you, circular, elegant, perfect. And in your colon right now, trillions of bacteria are fermenting fiber, producing these short-chain fatty acids, butyrate, propionate, acetate, butyrate especially, that 4-carbon fatty acid, so simple in structure, so profound in effect. It provides 70% of energy for colonocytes, those cells lining your large intestine. They consume it, thrive on it, and in doing so, maintain intestinal barrier integrity, prevent leaky gut, prevent systemic inflammation, and butyrate does more. It's an HDAC inhibitor, histone deacetylase inhibitor, changing how DNA is packaged, how genes are expressed. It loosens the chromatin, allows transcription factors to access genes, to turn them on. Genes for gut barrier proteins, for anti-inflammatory cytokines, for tumor suppression, all regulated by butyrate, all influenced by fiber, by what you feed your bacteria, by what you choose to eat. Other HDAC inhibitors exist in food: sulforaphane from broccoli, allicin from garlic, diallyl disulfide. These compounds changing gene expression, turning off pro-inflammatory genes, turning on protective genes. This is nutrigenomics. How nutrients talk to genes, how food becomes information, becomes instruction, becomes destiny, written not in stone, but in methylation patterns, in histone modifications, in chromatin structure, changeable, responsive, under your influence, through your choices, through your fork, through what you put in your mouth, several times a day, every day, for your entire life. The cumulative effect, enormous, decisive, determining, methylation. That addition of a methyl group, CH3, to cytosine bases in DNA, especially at CPG sites, cytosine guanine dinucleotides. This methylation silences genes, prevents transcription, and it's dynamic, changing throughout life, influenced by age, by environment, by stress, by diet. Folate provides methyl groups, B12, choline, betaine, methionine, all involved in one carbon metabolism, that network of reactions, transferring methyl groups, building nucleotides, synthesizing neurotransmitters. And when this system is impaired, when you're deficient in these nutrients, methylation becomes dysregulated. Genes that should be silenced become active. Genes that should be active become silenced, including tumor suppressor genes, leading to cancer risk, to developmental problems, to neural tube defects in fetuses. This is why folate is crucial during pregnancy, why leafy greens matter, why liver, why eggs, providing the methyl donors, the substrates, the building blocks for proper gene regulation. But methylation can be too much, hypermethylation, silencing tumor suppressor genes, or too little, hypermethylation, activating oncogenes. The balance matters, the pattern matters, and diet influences this pattern. Green tea catechins, genistein from soy. They inhibit DNA methyltransferases, those enzymes that add methyl groups, preventing excessive silencing, reactivating silenced tumor suppressors. This is epigenetic therapy. From food, from tea, from soybeans, reversing some cancer-promoting changes, not by changing DNA sequence, but by changing which genes are read, which are ignored, which guide cellular behavior. Powerful, profound, paradigm-shifting. Let your mind drift away from understanding, away from trying to remember, away from effort. The information is settling into you, like water into soil, like rain into earth, not on the surface, but absorbed, integrated, becoming part of you, part of your knowing. Even if you forget the words, forget the names, forget the details, something deeper remains, a sense, an intuition, a trust that your body can heal, that food matters, that you have power, agency, influence over your own biology, your own trajectory, your own aging. This knowing, settling into your bones, into your cells, into your DNA, as you sink deeper, softer, quieter into sleep. Your tumor suppressor genes, 53, the guardian of the genome, monitoring for DNA damage, for replication errors, for stress signals, and when damage is found, 53 halts the cell cycle, stops division, allows time for repair, activates DNA repair enzymes, and if repair fails, if damage is too severe, 53 triggers apoptosis, programmed cell death, the cell destroying itself for the greater good, preventing it from dividing with mutations, preventing cancer. This happens constantly. Cells making the ultimate sacrifice, hundreds, thousands, dying each day to protect you. And P53 itself can be mutated, inactivated, found mutated in 50% of cancers. But curcumin from turmeric, resveratrol from grapes, EGCG from tea, quercetin from onions. These compounds enhance 53 function, stabilize it, increase its expression, supporting your guardian, your protector, your defense against malignancy, BRCA genes, mammary cancer genes, but actually DNA repair genes, producing proteins that fix double-strand breaks, the most dangerous type of DNA damage, using homologous recombination, copying the undamaged sister chromatid, restoring the sequence perfectly. Women with BRCA mutations, inherited defects, have higher risk of mammary and ovarian cancer because repair is impaired, damage accumulates, and while you cannot change inherited mutations, you can support the remaining function, reduce additional DNA damage through antioxidants, through avoiding carcinogens, through supporting the other repair pathways, through eating protective foods, colored foods, diverse foods, living foods. Apoptosis, that programmed death, is characterized by specific changes: membrane blebbing, cell shrinkage, chromatin condensation, DNA fragmentation into neat segments, 180 base pairs, multiples of the nucleosome spacing. The cell dismantles itself orderly, packaged, without spilling contents, without causing inflammation, and phagocytes, those cleanup cells, recognize eat me signals, phosphatidylserine exposed on the outer membrane, and engulf the dying cell, digest it, recycle its components. No waste, no mess, just quiet, efficient disposal. This is different from necrosis, traumatic cell death, where the cell bursts, spills, causes inflammation, recruits immune cells, creates damage. Apoptosis is controlled, purposeful, beneficial, and certain foods induce apoptosis in cancer cells specifically, while leaving healthy cells alone. Somehow, mysteriously, selectively. Curcumin does this. Resveratrol, EGCG, sulforaphane, genistein. They trigger the intrinsic pathway, mitochondrial pathway, causing mitochondrial membrane permeabilization, releasing cytochrome C, activating caspases, those executioner enzymes, cleaving cellular proteins, dismantling the cell from within, cancer cells rapidly dividing, metabolically stressed, are more vulnerable to this, more sensitive, more easily pushed over the edge into apoptosis, while healthy cells with normal p53 normal checkpoints resist, survive. This selectivity, this intelligence built into plant compounds, into natural products, is humbling, mysterious, profound. Your breathing is so slow now, so shallow, barely moving, chest rising, falling, imperceptibly, like the tide, like the moon pulling water, ancient rhythms, cosmic rhythms, influencing you, guiding you. Your consciousness is flickering, like a candle in wind, moments of awareness, then gone, then back, then gone, drifting between waking and sleeping in that liminal space, that threshold where healing happens, where integration occurs, where information becomes wisdom, becomes cellular memory, becomes you. Spermidine, found in wheat germ, in soybeans, in mushrooms, in aged cheese, this polyamine, naturally occurring, induces autophagy, extends lifespan in yeast, in worms, in flies, in mice, possibly in humans. It mimics some effects of fasting, of caloric restriction, triggering cellular cleanup, renewal, rejuvenation, and your body produces it from arginine, from methionine, but production declines with age. Supplementation from food helps, maintains levels, maintains autophagy, maintains cellular quality control. This compound, named after sperm, where it was first discovered, now understood as a longevity factor, a youth factor, accessible, edible, protective. The cruciferous vegetables beyond sulforaphane contain other isothiocyanates, indole 3-carbinol, which converts in your stomach to DIM, diindolyl methane. This compound modulates estrogen metabolism, shifting it toward protective metabolites, away from damaging ones. Estrogen can be metabolized to 2-hydroxyestrone, protective, or to 16-alpha-hydroxyestrone, which has proliferative effects associated with cancer risk. DIM from cruciferous vegetables increases the ratio of good to bad estrogen metabolites, protecting mammary tissue, prostate tissue, hormone-sensitive tissues. This is why eating broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, kale, cauliflower regularly is associated with reduced cancer risk, especially hormone-related cancers. The vegetable, the compounds, offering protection, offering balance, offering wisdom that human biochemistry needs, has always needed, evolved with. Organosulfur compounds from garlic and onions, beyond allicin, include diallyl disulfide, S-allylcysteine, ajoan. These compounds inhibit phase 1 enzymes, which can activate carcinogens, while inducing phase 2 enzymes, which detoxify carcinogens, so they prevent activation of harmful compounds and enhance elimination. A two-pronged approach, preventing damage and clearing danger. This is why populations that eat more garlic, like in Mediterranean regions, have lower cancer rates, cardiovascular disease rates. The garlic, humble, pungent, malodorous, is medicine, is protection, is longevity wrapped in papery skin, waiting in your kitchen, asking only to be crushed, heated, eaten, to share its gifts. Carotenoids, that family of pigments, giving colour to plants, to fruits, to vegetables, beta-carotene in carrots, sweet potatoes, pumpkins, lycopene in tomatoes, watermelon, pink grapefruit, lutein and zeaxanthin in dark leafy greens, in egg yolks, beta-cryptoxanthin in oranges, in papaya, astaxanthin in salmon, in shrimp, in krill. Each one fat-soluble, requiring dietary fat for absorption. Each one an antioxidant, quenching singlet oxygen, neutralizing free radicals, protecting lipid membranes, and they accumulate in specific tissues. Lycopene in prostate, lutein and zeaxanthin in retina, protecting the macula, preventing macular degeneration, that leading cause of blindness in elderly. Protection encoded in colour, in pigment, in the rainbow you eat or don't eat. The more colourful your diet, the more diverse your carotenoids, the more protected your tissues, your DNA, your future, and the colours speak, communicate, signal. Red from anthocyanins, from lycopene, orange from beta-carotene, yellow from flavonoids, from zeaxanthin, green from chlorophyll, from lutein, purple from more anthocyanins, blue rare from anthocyanins at specific pH. Each colour a different set of compounds, different benefits, different protections. This is why eating the rainbow matters, why variety matters, why monotony is dangerous. Your body needs the full spectrum, the complete palette, the diverse pharmacy that only comes from eating many plants, many colours, many species, many different forms of life, offering their protection, their compounds, their evolution to support yours. But you need not think about this now, need not plan, need not worry. For now, just rest, just be, just let your body do what it's doing, repairing, protecting, healing, automatically, intelligently, perfectly. The breathing continues, the heart beats, the cells divide, the proteins fold, the genes express, the life persists without you, without your conscious mind, without your worry or control, just happening, just being, just you alive, here, now, in darkness, in safety, in peace. Selenium, that trace mineral, essential cofactor for glutathione peroxidase, for selenoproteins. You need only tiny amounts, 55 micrograms daily, but most people don't get enough. Soils are depleted, crops contain less, but Brazil nuts, those large triangular nuts, contain enormous amounts. One nut provides 100 to 200 micrograms, more than a day's need, from selenium-rich soils in the Amazon, absorbed by the trees, concentrated in seeds. 2 nuts, that's all. 2 per day, enough. Or seafood, fish, shellfish, accumulating selenium from water, or organ meats, kidney, liver, or whole grains grown in selenium-rich regions, each providing this crucial mineral, this protector, this detoxifier, this supporter of thyroid function, of immune function, of DNA synthesis, and zinc, that other trace mineral, in oysters, in pumpkin seeds, in beef, in chickpeas, needed for over 300 enzymes, for immune cells, for wound healing, for DNA synthesis, for gene expression, for taste and smell. Zinc deficiency causes loss of these senses, loss of appetite, loss of pleasure in eating, leading to further deficiency, a vicious cycle. But adequate zinc from food, from diverse sources, maintains sensation, maintains immunity, maintains healing capacity, maintains life quality. And zinc competes with copper for absorption, another essential mineral from shellfish, from nuts, from seeds, from organ meats. The balance between them matters. Too much of one depletes the other. This is why isolated supplements can cause problems, while food, with its natural ratios, its natural balances, provides minerals in relationship, in context, in community, as they should be. Magnesium, that often deficient mineral required for ATP production, for protein synthesis, for muscle function, for nerve transmission, for heart rhythm, for bone structure, found in dark leafy greens, in nuts, in seeds, in whole grains, in dark chocolate. But modern diets, low in plants, high in processed food, lead to widespread deficiency, and symptoms are vague: fatigue, cramps, irritability, anxiety, irregular heartbeat. Most people never connect them to magnesium, never address the deficiency, never feel how different, how better they could feel with adequacy, with optimal status. Just eating a serving of pumpkin seeds, some dark chocolate, some spinach each day could transform health, mood, energy, sleep, all from one mineral, one element, one simple nutrient, too often ignored: iron, needed for hemoglobin, for oxygen transport, for energy production, found in meat, in organ meats, heme iron, easily absorbed, and in plants, beans, lentils, spinach. Non-heme iron, less easily absorbed, but absorption enhanced by vitamin C, by the acid in your stomach. Take iron with tomatoes, with citrus, with bell peppers, and absorption multiplies. But avoid taking with tea, with coffee, with calcium. These inhibit absorption, compete, block. These interactions matter, these timing matters, these combinations matter, not for every meal, not obsessively, but generally, over time, pattern after pattern, choice after choice, adding up, accumulating, determining your iron status, your energy levels, your capacity to function, to think, to live fully. B vitamins, that complex family: B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, B12, each essential, each required for different reactions, different pathways, different systems, from whole grains, from meat, from eggs, from leafy greens, from legumes, most abundant in unprocessed foods, stripped away during refining, milling, processing. This is why white flour is enriched, because it was impoverished first, stripped of its bran, its germ, its nutrients, then a few synthetic vitamins added back, but not all, not in the same form, not in the same ratios, not with the cofactors, the phytonutrients, the fibre that came naturally. So enriched is still poor, compared to whole, compared to intact, compared to real. Vitamin K2, different from K1 in plants, K2 produced by bacteria in fermented foods, in natto, that Japanese fermented soybean dish, stringy, pungent, acquired taste, but extraordinary nutrition. K2 activates proteins, osteocalcin in bone, pulling calcium from blood into bone matrix, strengthening skeleton, and matrix glial protein in arteries, pulling calcium out of vessel walls, preventing calcification, preventing hardening. So K2 directs calcium away from soft tissues where it causes damage into hard tissues where it provides strength. This is why K2 supplementation reduces fracture risk, reduces arterial calcification, improves both bone and cardiovascular health simultaneously. And grass-fed butter contains K2, as does cheese, especially aged cheese, Gouda, brie, from bacteria, from fermentation, from traditional food processing, offering benefits that modern, sterile, industrial food cannot. Vitamin D, that hormone vitamin produced in skin from cholesterol when UVB light hits. But modern life, indoor work, northern latitudes, sunscreen, winter, all reduce production, and deficiency is epidemic, affecting immunity, affecting mood, affecting bone health, affecting cancer risk. Vitamin D receptors exist on most cells, on immune cells especially, regulating their function, modulating response. When deficient, immunity is impaired, infections increase, autoimmunity increases, inflammation increases, but adequate vitamin D from sun, from fatty fish, from egg yolks, from fortified foods, from supplements if needed, supports immunity, reduces infection, may reduce cancer risk, may reduce autoimmune disease, may improve mood, especially in winter, in darkness, when levels naturally drop, when seasonal affective disorder emerges. The sun vitamin, the light vitamin, the summer vitamin, needed year-round, needed by everyone, needed for optimal health. Feel the darkness around you now, not as threat, not as void, but as restoration, as renewal, as the necessary opposite of light, the circadian rhythm, day and night, light and dark, activity and rest. These cycles, ancient as Earth's rotation, have shaped all life, all physiology, all cellular function. Your cells have clocks, peripheral clocks, in every tissue, entrained by the master clock, in the suprachiasmatic nucleus, in your hypothalamus, receiving light signals from your eyes, setting the rhythm, coordinating everything. When you sleep at consistent times, when you see morning light, when you avoid blue light at night, these clocks stay synchronized, stay aligned, and health follows. But disruption, shift work, jet lag, late night screens, desynchronizes, confuses, damages, leads to metabolic syndrome, to diabetes, to cardiovascular disease, to cancer, the modern disease epidemic, partially explained by circadian disruption, by fighting our nature, by ignoring ancient rhythms. But you're not ignoring them now, not fighting. You're surrendering, aligning, allowing the darkness to do its work, its healing, its restoration. And in this darkness, growth hormone surges, testosterone in men increases, prolactin rises, cortisol drops, glucose is mobilized, fat is metabolized, proteins are synthesized, brain cells shrink, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to flush through, clearing metabolic waste, clearing amyloid beta, that protein implicated in Alzheimer's, this glymphatic system, active during sleep, protecting your brain, preventing neurodegeneration. Another reason sleep matters. Sleep heals, sleep protects, sleep extends life, and you're sleeping now, or nearly. Consciousness fading, thoughts dissolving, the body taking over, doing its work, its ancient, essential, irreplaceable work. Polysaccharides from mushrooms, beta-glucans, complex sugars, branching chains, recognized by immune cells, by pattern recognition receptors, activating them, enhancing function. Shiitake, matake, reishi, cordyceps, turkey tail, each containing different beta-glucans, different structures, different effects, but all immunomodulating, all protective, all beneficial, used in traditional Asian medicine for millennia, now studied scientifically, validated, shown to enhance chemotherapy effectiveness, reduce side effects, improve survival in cancer patients, improve quality of life. These fungi, decomposers, living between life and death, breaking down, transforming, recycling, offering their power, their medicine, their strange and wonderful bioactivity to those who eat them, who brew them, who respect them, and adaptogens, that category of herbs helping body adapt to stress, rhodiola, ashwagandha, holy basil, ginseng, schisandra, each working differently, but all normalizing, balancing, supporting HPA axis, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, that stress response system. When you face stress, CRH releases from hypothalamus, ACTH from pituitary, cortisol from adrenals. This is good. This is adaptive in acute stress, fight or flight. But chronic stress, chronic cortisol elevation causes problems, suppresses immunity, increases inflammation, promotes fat storage, impairs memory, damages hippocampus, and adaptogens buffer this, modulate the response, reduce excessive cortisol, support adrenal function, help you cope, help you adapt, help you maintain equilibrium despite challenge, despite stress, despite life's difficulties. But stress reduction ultimately comes from within, from practices, from choices, from perspective. Meditation lowers cortisol, lengthens telomeres, reduces inflammation, improves gene expression. Changes can be measured, documented. After 8 weeks of mindfulness practice, Gene expression changes, inflammatory genes downregulated, stress response genes downregulated, changes in brain structure visible on MRI, grey matter increases in hippocampus, decreases in amygdala. The practice, the sitting, the breathing, the observing, physically changes you, rewires you, heals you, just as sleep does, just as food does, just as movement does, all working together, all synergistic, all necessary, all within your control. But for now, control is released, handed over, given to the body, to its wisdom, to its automatic processes. You need do nothing, nothing at all, just be here, be breath, be beating heart, be repairing cells, be regenerating DNA, be, simply be. The night continues, hours remain, and throughout them, quietly, persistently, beautifully, your body will work, will heal, will protect itself. And tomorrow, you'll wake, perhaps not remembering this script, this information, these details, but changed nonetheless, slightly, subtly, molecularly, cellularly. Your DNA repaired a bit more, your gut bacteria fed, your stem cells stimulated, your immune system modulated, your telomeres protected, your mitochondria renewed, all from rest, from darkness, from allowing, from trust, and from the foods you've eaten, the compounds you've consumed, the colors you've chosen, all speaking to your genes, all steering your biology, all writing your future, one meal, one bite, one choice at a time, accumulating, determining, creating, you, becoming, always becoming, never fixed, always capable of change, of healing, of improvement, of regeneration, until the very last breath, until the very last heartbeat. The capacity remains, the potential persists, the hope endures, and so you rest, so you heal, so you drift deeper into the cellular repair happening without thought, without effort, without anything but surrender. Your body knows the way, has always known, will always know, until that final moment, that final rest, from which there is no waking. But that is far, distant, years away, decades perhaps. And tonight, now, there is only this breath, this heartbeat, this moment of regeneration, of life continuing, of DNA being copied, checked, repaired, of proteins being folded, of waste being cleared, of everything working harmoniously, perfectly, automatically. The ocean calls now, calling you deeper into blue-green depths, where seaweed sways, where kelp forests grow tall as trees. These algae, these ancient photosynthesizers, predating land plants, predating everything, learning to capture sunlight, to split water, to release oxygen, changing Earth's atmosphere, making complex life possible, making you possible. And now they offer their gifts, their minerals, their compounds, their protection. Nori, that paper-thin sheet wrapped around rice and fish, dried, toasted, containing iodine, protein, vitamin B12, rare in plants, but algae can make it or harbor bacteria that make it. Wakame, in miso soup, that silky ribbon, rehydrating, unfurling, delicate, nutritious kombu, that thick leathery kelp used to make dashi, that fundamental Japanese stock, umami-rich, mineral-rich, containing glutamic acid, natural MSG, flavor enhancer, and alginic acid, binding heavy metals, helping remove them from your body, detoxifying, protecting. Seaweeds concentrate minerals from seawater, iodine especially, essential for thyroid hormones, T3, T4, regulating metabolism, energy production, body temperature, growth, development. Too little iodine and the thyroid swells. Goiter, metabolism slows, fatigue sets in, brain development impaired in children, but adequate iodine from seaweed, from iodized salt, from fish, maintains thyroid function, maintains energy, maintains health. And modern diets, less salt due to blood pressure concerns, less seaweed, less fish, have led to borderline deficiency in many, subtle, undiagnosed, but impactful, affecting energy, mood, weight, health, simple, preventable, reversible, just by including sea vegetables regularly, consistently, honoring the ocean, honoring its gifts, and from the ocean depths, fish swimming, feeding, accumulating, sea base, that white-fleshed fish, delicate, flaky, rich in protein, in selenium, in omega-3s, and mackerel, that oily fish, strong-flavored, high in omega-3s, in vitamin D, in B12, swimming in schools, silver flashing, through cold waters, accumulating EPA, DHA, from the algae they eat, from the plankton, from the food chain starting with photosynthesis, with sunlight captured, with carbon fixed, with energy stored and transferred up the chain to the fish, to you, connecting you to sun, to ocean, to the vast cycles of life, of energy, of matter, all flowing, all connected, all one. Sardines, those small silvery fish, packed in tins, bone softened, edible, rich in calcium, in vitamin D, in omega-3s, sustainable, abundant, low in mercury due to their small size, short lifespan. They don't accumulate toxins like larger predatory fish, like tuna, like swordfish. This is the paradox. The larger the fish, the more omega-3s potentially, but also the more mercury, the more PCBs, the more persistent organic pollutants. So choosing smaller fish, sardines, anchovies, herring, mackerel, gives you the benefits, without the risks, without the toxins, just the protection, the omega-3s, the protein, the minerals, the nourishment, anchovies especially, those tiny fish, intensely flavored, used sparingly in Caesar dressing, in puttanesca sauce, dissolved in cooking, adding depth, umami, nutrition, invisibly, deliciously. Shellfish too, scallops, those round mussels, sweet, tender, seared in a hot pan, golden, caramelized, rich in vitamin B12, in magnesium, in potassium, supporting energy production, nerve function, muscle contraction, heart rhythm and clams, those bivalves, filtering water, concentrating nutrients, iron especially, more iron than beef, ounce for ounce, and protein and B12 and selenium, a nutritional powerhouse from the sea floor, from mud flats, from brackish estuaries, where fresh water meets salt, where nutrients concentrate, where life thrives. Mussels, similar, orange flesh, briny, sweet, in garlic butter, in white wine sauce, steamed until they open, revealing their treasure, their sustenance, their offering. Your collagen is being synthesized right now, that most abundant protein in your body, making up tendons, ligaments, skin, blood vessels, bones, gut lining. Everywhere structure is needed. Collagen is made from amino acids, glycine, proline, hydroxyproline, hydroxylysine. The hydroxy forms require vitamin C, ascorbic acid, to add hydroxyl groups, to stabilize the triple helix. Without adequate vitamin C, collagen is weak, defective. This is scurvy, that disease of sailors, of long voyages without fresh food, gums bleeding, teeth falling out, wounds not healing, skin bruising, eventually death, all from lack of one vitamin, one simple compound that most animals make, but primates, guinea pigs, bats, and a few others cannot. We lost the enzyme through mutation and became dependent on dietary sources, on fruits, on vegetables, on fresh food. But this vulnerability became strength, became adaptation. Plants make vitamin C to protect themselves from oxidative stress, from UV damage, and we co-opted it. Use it for the same antioxidant defense, immune support, collagen synthesis. So eating kiwi fruit, those fuzzy brown ovals, bright green inside, with tiny black seeds radiating from the center, provides enormous vitamin C, more than oranges, more than strawberries. And studies show kiwi fruit protects DNA from oxidative damage, repairs DNA strand breaks better than other fruits tested. Something beyond vitamin C, other compounds, other phytonutrients, other protective factors, working together synergistically. This is why whole foods surpass isolated nutrients, why supplements cannot fully replace eating, why variety matters, why honoring the complexity, the mystery, the irreducibility of whole foods is essential. Adzuki beans, those small red beans, used in Asian cuisine, in sweet red bean paste, in savory stews, contain anthocyanins, those same pigments as blueberries, same protection, but in a bean, in a legume, with protein, with fiber, with resistant starch, feeding your microbiome, producing butyrate, supporting gut health, lowering cholesterol, stabilizing blood sugar. The beans, humble, inexpensive, storable, stable, are nutritional gold mines. Lentils, chickpeas, black beans, navy beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, each with slightly different nutrient profiles, different flavors, different textures, but all beneficial, all protective, all worthy of regular consumption, daily consumption. They are staples in the world's blue zones, those regions where people live longest. Sardinia, Okinawa, Loma Linda, Nicoya, Ikaria. Beans every day, vegetables every day, Movement every day, community every day, purpose every day. This is longevity, not from pills, not from technology, but from lifestyle, from food, from connection, from meaning, accessible to everyone, requiring no wealth, no special knowledge, just commitment, just consistency, just care. Whole grains, those intact seeds, with bran, germ, endosperm, all present, barley, that ancient grain, chewy, nutty, in soups, in stews, containing beta-glucan, that soluble fibre, viscous, gel-forming, trapping cholesterol, bile acids, removing them from circulation, forcing the liver to make more bile, using more cholesterol, lowering blood levels, protecting arteries, protecting heart. This is why oats lower cholesterol, why barley does, why consuming them regularly, daily, changes cardiovascular risk, measurably, meaningfully. And quinoa, that pseudo-grain from the Andes, growing at high altitude, adapted to harsh conditions, containing all 9 essential amino acids, complete protein from a plant, rare, valuable, and resistant to pests, to disease, hardy, resilient, like humans can be, when properly nourished, when properly cared for. Buckwheat, related to rhubarb, not wheat at all, despite the name, gluten-free, containing rutin, that flavonoid, strengthening capillaries, reducing fragility, reducing bruising, improving circulation. Used to make soba noodles in Japan, eaten hot in winter, cold in summer, with dipping sauce, with wasabi, simple, nourishing, medicinal. And the groats, the hulled seeds, can be toasted, cooked as porridge, as kasha, nutty, earthy, filling, providing manganese, magnesium, copper, fiber, protein, all the things refined grains lack, all the things removed during processing, during improvement, that actually impoverishes, that actually harms. This is the great deception of modern food, that refinement is better, that white is purer, that processing is progress, when actually it's regression, it's loss, it's impoverishment, masked by convenience, by shelf stability, by profit. But you can choose differently, can seek whole, can embrace complexity, can honor what nature provides as it provides it, complete, intact, whole, saffron, those delicate crimson threads, stigmas from Crocus sativus, hand-picked, labor-intensive, expensive, precious. Each flower produces only 3 stigmas, requiring thousands of flowers for 1 ounce. This is why it's the world's most expensive spice, but also why it's so concentrated, so potent. A few threads, steeped in warm water, release golden color, distinctive flavor, and medicinal compounds, crocin, saffronol, studied for depression, for anxiety, for cognitive function, showing benefits comparable to antidepressants in some trials, without side effects, without the numbness, just gentle, subtle uplift, as if the flower, blooming in fall against approaching winter, wants to give light, give warmth, give hope through its stigmas, through its essence, through its gift to those who seek it, who use it, who honor it. Cinnamon, that warming spice from bark, rolled into quills or ground to powder, contains cinnamaldehyde, that aromatic compound, improving insulin sensitivity, lowering blood glucose, especially after meals, blunting the spike, smoothing the curve, protecting against glycation. That process where excess glucose binds to proteins, damages them, creates ages, advanced glycation end products, which accumulate in tissues, in skin, in vessels, in eyes, in kidneys, causing stiffness, causing aging, causing complications of diabetes. But cinnamon reduces this, protects from this, slows this inevitable process, just by being added to food, to oatmeal, to yogurt, to coffee, to stews, everywhere, anywhere, warming, protecting, healing. Ginger, that knobby rhizome, pale yellow inside, fibrous, spicy, contains gingerols, shogols, paradols, depending on processing, fresh versus dried versus cooked. Each forms slightly different compounds, slightly different effects, but all warming, all anti-inflammatory, all settling to digestion, reducing nausea, more effective than Dramamine for motion sickness in some studies, without drowsiness, without side effects, just the root, grated fresh, into tea, into stir-fry, into soup, or candied, crystallized, sweet spicy, or pickled, with sushi, pink, tangy, palate cleansing, each preparation, each use, offering benefits, offering comfort, offering the wisdom accumulated through millennia of use, of observation, of empirical knowledge, of grandmothers, of healers, of traditional medicine systems, now validated by science, by studies, by mechanisms understood, but effective long before understanding. Effective because they work, because nature provides, because plants protect themselves and offer that protection to us. Chili peppers, those bright fruits, red, green, orange, yellow, containing capsaicin, that compound creating heat, burning, pain, activating TRPV1 receptors, those ion channels responding to heat, to acid, to physical abrasion. But capsaicin, by activating these channels, then desensitizes them, reduces substance P, that neuropeptide transmitting pain. This is why capsaicin cream treats chronic pain, why eating spicy food regularly increases tolerance, reduces sensitivity, and capsaicin boosts metabolism, increases thermogenesis, fat oxidation, slightly but measurably, and protects the stomach lining, increases mucus production, increases blood flow, promoting healing, preventing ulcers, despite the burning sensation suggesting damage. Another paradox, another surprise, another wisdom encoded in plants, in their defense compounds, in their secondary metabolites, that become our medicine, our protection, our longevity enhancers. Rosemary, those needle-like leaves, woody stems, aromatic, piney, containing rosmarinic acid, carnosic acid, carnosol, potent antioxidants, preventing lipid peroxidation, protecting brain tissue, crossing blood-brain barrier, accumulating in neural tissue, protecting neurons from oxidative stress, from excitotoxicity, from degeneration. This is why rosemary has been associated with memory. Rosemary for remembrance. Shakespeare wrote, and science confirms. Students who smell rosemary while studying, then smell it again during testing, perform better, remember more. The scent, the compounds, the essential oils, somehow, mysteriously, enhancing cognitive function, enhancing memory formation, enhancing recall. And cooking with rosemary, especially with high heat cooking, with grilling, roasting, reduces formation of heterocyclic amines, those carcinogenic compounds formed when meat is charred. The rosemary sacrificing itself, its antioxidants scavenging reactive species, preventing damage, protecting you, even as flavor is enhanced, as aroma fills the kitchen, as pleasure is increased, protection and pleasure combined, never opposed. This is the wisdom of traditional cuisine, using herbs liberally, using spices abundantly, not just for taste, but for preservation, for protection, for health, for life extension, encoded in recipes, passed down, adapted, refined, over generations, over centuries, becoming culture, becoming identity, becoming delicious medicine. Oregano, that Mediterranean herb, tiny leaves, powerful flavor, contains more antioxidants per gram than any other herb. More than blueberries, more than dark chocolate, gram for gram. Carvacrol, thymol, rosmarinic acid, all antimicrobial, all anti-inflammatory, all protective, used in traditional medicine, in folk medicine, for infections, for digestive complaints, for respiratory issues. And now we know why. We understand the mechanisms, the compounds, but the use predates the understanding by millennia. Proof that empirical observation works, that trial and error leads to truth, that traditional knowledge deserves respect, deserves preservation, deserves integration with modern science, not dismissal, not replacement, but synthesis, combination, the best of both, ancient wisdom and modern understanding, creating something greater than either alone. Basil, sweet basil, Thai basil, holy basil, each variety different, but all containing eugenol, that compound also in cloves, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, slightly analgesic, and holy basil, Tulsi, revered in Ayurveda, adaptogenic, stress-reducing, cortisol-lowering, used in tea, in worship, in medicine, for thousands of years in India, now studied scientifically, shown to reduce anxiety, improve stress resilience, modulate HPA axis, support adrenal function, the plant, the herb, humble, growing easily, offering its leaves, its essence, its protection, freely, abundantly, asking only for water, sunlight, care, and giving back, healing, calming, centering. Those who grow it, who tend it, who use it fresh, benefit most. Connection to the plant, to growing, to soil, to life cycles, adding its own healing, its own benefit, beyond the compounds, beyond the measurable, into the realm of relationship, of care, of attention, of love, which may be the most healing thing of all. Thyme, tiny leaves on delicate stems, powerful flavor, antiseptic properties. Thymol is used in mouthwash, in cough drops, in vapor rubs. For good reason. It kills bacteria, fungi, even some viruses. And in food, in cooking, it protects, preserves, flavors. Used in bouquet garni, in herbes de Provence, in countless dishes across cultures, adding not just taste, but medicine, protection, preservation. This is why traditional food preparation is so sophisticated, so intelligent, why it developed the way it did, because it worked, because it kept people alive, because it prevented foodborne illness before refrigeration, before understanding of microbiology, just observation, just consequence, just survival selecting for practices that work, that protect, that nourish. Your skin is regenerating right now in this darkness. Keratinocytes dividing in basal layer, pushing upward, differentiating, filling with keratin, eventually dying, forming the stratum corneum, that protective outer layer, dead cells, but organized, layered, creating barrier, preventing water loss, preventing pathogen entry, and every 28 days, completely renewed, completely replaced. You literally have new skin, monthly, constantly. This is why scars fade, why sun damage can improve, why skincare can work. Because the cells are always turning over, always renewing, always capable of change, and vitamin C, vitamin E, carotenoids, polyphenols from diet, they support this renewal, protect it, enhance it. Collagen production, elastin, hyaluronic acid, all influenced by nutrition, by what you eat, by what you provide, to these hungry, busy, constantly dividing cells. Feed them well, and they make healthy skin, strong barrier, youthful appearance. Feed them poorly, and aging accelerates. Damage accumulates. Appearance suffers. It's not vanity. It's not superficial. Skin health reflects overall health, indicates nutritional status, reveals what's happening inside. Glowing skin, clear eyes, strong nails, shiny hair. These are signs, signals, indicators of cellular health, of adequate nutrition, of proper function throughout the body, throughout all systems, all tissues, all cells, and your hair, each strand, growing from follicles in scalp, made of keratin, requiring protein, requiring sulfur amino acids, cysteine, methionine, from eggs, from meat, from fish, from legumes, and biotin, that B vitamin for keratin production, from egg yolks, from nuts, from seeds, and iron for oxygen delivery to follicles, for cell division, from meat, from beans, from dark leafy greens. Deficiency causes hair loss, thinning, graying, but adequacy maintains, protects, preserves, and the probiotics, especially Lactobacillus reuteri, may increase hair thickness, follicle count, through mechanisms unknown, something about gut-skin axis, about systemic effects of these bacteria, of their metabolites, influencing distant tissues, showing how interconnected, how systemic, how whole body the microbiome's effect truly are. Your bones are remodeling, osteoclasts breaking down old bone, osteoblasts building new. This balance, this constant turnover, maintaining strength, maintaining structure, adapting to force, to stress, to use. Weight-bearing exercise stimulates building, creates stronger bone, and calcium from dairy, from leafy greens, from sardines with bones, from sesame seeds, provides raw material, substrate, building blocks, and vitamin D for calcium absorption, for osteoblast activity, and vitamin K2, directing calcium into bone, activating osteocalcin, and magnesium for bone matrix, for crystal formation, and protein for organic bone structure, collagen scaffold, and boron, trace mineral from fruits, from nuts, for bone health, for vitamin D metabolism, all working together, all necessary, all synergistic. This is why isolated calcium supplements don't prevent fractures, why vitamin D alone isn't enough, why single nutrients rarely work. The body needs the full symphony, the complete nutrition, the whole food matrix, with all its components, all its cofactors, all its synergies. Then bone stays strong, stays dense, stays capable of supporting you, of protecting organs, of moving you through the world for decades, for a lifetime, without fracture, without osteoporosis, without collapse. Feel your bones now, your skeleton, that internal scaffolding. 206 bones in adults, down from 270 at birth as some fuse. Feel the weight, the solidity, the structure, providing shape, providing strength, providing anchor for muscles, protection for organs, mineral storage, blood cell production in marrow. So many functions. From this hard tissue, this calcium phosphate crystal, this living stone, inside you, supporting you, literally, metaphorically, all the time, every moment, without rest, without complaint, just supporting, just being, just doing its job, automatically, perfectly, gratefully receiving the nutrients you provide, and building, maintaining, protecting. In return, your immune cells are patrolling T cells, B cells, natural killer cells, macrophages, neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, dendritic cells, each type specialized, trained, ready, some in circulation, flowing through blood, some in lymph nodes, waiting, some in tissues, stationed, watching. And when infection comes, when damage occurs, they mobilize, coordinate, attack, some presenting antigens, some producing antibodies, some directly killing, some cleaning up debris, a cellular army, million strong, trillion strong, working together, communicating through cytokines, through cell-to-cell contact, through complex networks, protecting you from bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites, cancer cells, anything foreign, anything dangerous, anything threatening, and diet modulates this. Vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, selenium, omega-3s, polyphenols, probiotics, all influencing immune function, all affecting response, all determining whether you get sick or stay well, whether infection is minor or severe, whether recovery is quick or prolonged. Power in your hands is on your plate, in your choices, 3 times a day, every day, for life. And your liver, that largest internal organ, weighing 3 pounds, tucked under ribs on the right, is filtering blood, detoxifying, metabolizing, synthesizing, storing, regulating. 500 functions, at least, probably more, so complex, so essential, so resilient. The liver can regenerate, can regrow from just 25% remaining, unique among organs, only shared with kidney to some extent. This regenerative capacity, this healing power, allows recovery from damage, from alcohol, from medications, from toxins, from disease. If the assault stops, if given time, if given nutrients, if supported. The liver needs protein, B vitamins, antioxidants, sulfur compounds from cruciferous vegetables, from alliums to support detoxification pathways. Phase 1, Phase 2, transforming fat-soluble toxins to water-soluble for excretion in urine or bile. And milk thistle, silymarin, supports hepatocytes, those liver cells, protects them, enhances regeneration, used for centuries in herbal medicine, now validated scientifically. But better than treating liver damage is preventing it, limiting alcohol, avoiding toxins, eating clean food, diverse food, colourful food, supporting this vital organ, this chemical factory, this metabolic hub, this guardian of your blood, your body, your health. Now feel yourself dissolving completely, boundaries fading. Where does your body end and the mattress begin? Where does your breath end and the air begin? Where does your consciousness end and sleep begin? These lines blur, these divisions dissolve, and there is just presence, awareness, being, fading, going, gone, almost hovering at the threshold, the liminal space between. And in this space, healing accelerates, integration happens, learning consolidates, memories form, connections strengthen. The day's experience is being processed, filed, stored, made part of you, while the body continues its work, its endless, tireless, faithful work of maintaining, repairing, protecting, loving you in the only way a body can, through function, through service, through silent, devoted, constant care. Grapes, red grapes, purple grapes, hanging in clusters, heavy on the vine, contain resveratrol in their skins, that compound activating sirtuins, those longevity genes found in all organisms from yeast to humans. When activated, sirtuins enhance DNA repair, improve mitochondrial function, promote autophagy, extend lifespan in experimental organisms. And resveratrol does this, mimics some effects of caloric restriction, of fasting without the hunger. This is the French paradox explained. High-fat diet, red wine, yet low heart disease. The polyphenols, the resveratrol, protecting despite, or perhaps balancing, the saturated fat. But you don't need wine, just grapes, dark grapes, with skins. And peanuts contain resveratrol too, and blueberries. Many foods giving you the compound, the protection, the longevity enhancement, without alcohol, without intoxication, without risk, just food, just plants, just nature's pharmacy, open, available, affordable, waiting, stone fruits, peaches, plums, nectarines, apricots, with their single hard pit, their soft sweet flesh, their fuzzy or smooth skin, colours from pale yellow to deep purple. These contain chlorogenic acids, phenolic compounds, protecting against metabolic syndrome, against diabetes, modulating glucose absorption, improving insulin sensitivity, and dried, becoming prunes, concentrated nutrients, concentrated sugars, yes, but also concentrated fiber, concentrated sorbitol, gentle laxative, supporting bowel health, regularity, and beta-carotene in apricots, that orange pigment, converting to vitamin A for vision, for immune function, for skin health, for cell differentiation. One dried apricot, that wrinkled orange piece, contains good vitamin A and iron and fiber and sweetness and possibility and life. Cherries, dark red, almost black, contain anthocyanins, melatonin, anti-inflammatory compounds. Studies show they reduce muscle soreness after exercise, reduce gout flares, improve sleep quality, and tart cherry juice, concentrated, powerful, almost medicinal in taste, provides even more anthocyanins, more benefit, a shot before bed, supporting sleep, supporting recovery, supporting cellular repair throughout the night, throughout your rest, throughout this journey into darkness, into healing, into restoration that you're experiencing now, right now, as you drift, as you float, as you let go completely. And speaking of letting go, of release, your bladder is relaxed, your bowels are quiet, your sphincters are resting, all the holding, all the controlling, released, given over for this time, this sacred time of sleep, when consciousness withdraws, when ego dissolves, when you become just biology, just process, just being, without name, without story, without identity, just a human organism repairing itself, healing itself, maintaining itself, as all living things do, as life has done for 4 billion years on this planet, on this world, spinning through space, orbiting a star in a galaxy of billions of stars, in a universe of billions of galaxies. And you here, you now, a brief moment of consciousness, of life, of complexity, of beauty, arising from matter, from chemistry, from physics, and experiencing, loving, learning, growing, before returning back to elements, back to atoms, back to stardust. But that return, that dissolution, is far, so far. And for now, for decades still, you exist, you live, you breathe, you repair, you regenerate, you continue. And the longer you care for yourself, the longer you nourish yourself, the longer you protect yourself, the longer this continues, this gift, this mystery, this improbable, impossible, beautiful existence. The body keeps healing, cell by cell, molecule by molecule, DNA strand by DNA strand. The repair enzymes gliding along, checking, correcting, protecting. The mitochondria producing ATP, the currency of life. The ribosomes reading mRNA, translating, synthesizing proteins. The lysosomes digesting, recycling. The peroxisomes breaking down fatty acids, detoxifying. Every organelle, every structure, every component, doing its part, its job, its function, and all coordinated, all timed, all balanced by mechanisms beyond conscious understanding, beyond conscious control, just happening, just being, just life, living itself through you, as you, for you. And tomorrow, when light returns, when consciousness returns, when you wake, you will not remember all this, not the names, not the details, not the pathways, but something remains, something deeper, an understanding that your body is wise, that food matters, that choices accumulate, that you have power, agency, influence, that aging is not inevitable decay but modifiable process, influenced by lifestyle, by diet, by attitude, by care, that you are not helpless, not victim, not passive recipient of genetic fate, but active participant, co-creator, capable, empowered, responsible. And with responsibility comes possibility, comes hope, comes future, written not in stone but in choices, in meals, in bites, in moments, accumulating, directing, determining your path, your health, your longevity, your vitality, your quality of life, all within reach, all available, all possible. But for now, no thinking about tomorrow, no planning, no worrying, just this darkness, this rest, this repair, this healing, this sacred, essential, irreplaceable time of sleep, of restoration, of cellular maintenance, of neural consolidation, of growth hormone release, of immune enhancement, of detoxification, of autophagy, of mitophagy, of DNA repair, of telomere protection, of everything, all at once, all coordinated, all perfect, happening now, while you rest, while you trust, while you surrender completely to the body's wisdom, to nature's design, to the process honed over billions of years, over countless generations, over evolutionary time, deep, ancient, reliable, true. Golden light weaves through your DNA, through every cell, every tissue, every organ, warm, gentle, healing light, not visible, not physical, but real nonetheless. The light of life, of vitality, of health, of coherence, of organization, of negentropy, fighting entropy, fighting disorder, fighting chaos, with structure, with function, with repair, with renewal, with persistence, with life itself. And you are this light, are this process, are this improbable ordering of matter, this complexity, this consciousness, this beauty, arising, existing, continuing, through the night, through tomorrow, through the days, the months, the years ahead, protected by plants, by compounds, by molecules that evolved in sunlight, in soil, in water, and now protect you, heal you, extend you, give you more time, more life, more possibility, more becoming. And we keep drifting, keep floating, keep moving through the science of health, through the biology of longevity, through the cellular mechanisms of repair, through the endless, looping, gentle knowledge that heals as it informs, that calms as it teaches, that restores as it reveals. The body keeps healing, keeps working, keeps protecting you, loving you in its silent way, its devoted way, its ancient way. Golden light weaves your DNA, repairs the breaks, protects the telomeres, optimizes expression, creates health, creates vitality, creates the possibility of long life, well lived, fully experienced, deeply felt, and will keep drifting, floating together through health science, through the night, through the darkness, through the deep, regenerative, healing rest that takes you now completely, fully, finally into sleep, into dreams, into the unconscious repair that continue until morning, until light, until waking, when you return, renewed, restored, slightly, subtly, beautifully, healed. The body keeps healing, and we keep drifting, floating through health science, through the night, through life, together, always, endlessly, now.